GigaCloud is sort of a fake company is the problem. Yeah. Lovey's got it. All the hedge fund names.
Order partially filled.
𝗤𝗢𝗡𝗢 Capital. Baggy Point.
Order filled.
Advisors. Yeah, my ancestors from Netherlands, they were buying tulips every day, B. I should create Tulip Bulb LLC. Baggy Pure Alpha. Bagshire Hathaway? Oh, yeah. Yeah, honestly, that would be funny if we had tulip bulbs. The tulip bulb index. Oh, garden got hacked. All my bulbs are gone. That's a good one. There's actually Greg Brockman, who helped invent this field, has a prompt engineering, like it's a tweet that'll sort of help you pretty good, actually. One of the nicest things you could do is give it an example. You give it an example of what to do. That helps a lot. I don't know when, if gold will crash. I mean, it probably will, right? I'll tell you this. Somebody showed up to Buffett's house and said, yo, here's this gold bar. You know, he's taking that. Oh, there's a nice gold bar here. Well, I'm not saying I'm not going to take it. Here's my liquidate it. And do buyback in Berkshire. I don't want, it's not a productive asset. You can't disagree with that. But I did wish I owned it. Right, Charlie? I have to work on the Elon, because if you want to do really good impressions, you can actually like sit and study their voice. Like that's if you're like, I guess if you're a comedian, you got to do it professionally. But like you can remarkably mimic somebody's voice. Buffett's like my hero, so I know everything about Buffett. I used to be able to do almost a perfect Buffett. That was not very good. I used to talk like Buffett. I loved him so much. People would be like, "Are you Midwestern all of a sudden? What?" Well, what had happened was I borrowed $20 from Shaniqua, my baby mom's, and this investment didn't work out. Unfortunately, I got margin called. It's funny, all the ball players and call Buffett for advice. It's pretty neat. Alex Rodriguez did. I think a bunch of other super ball players. I wouldn't say D-list or anything, but like I think a lot of them talk to Mark and Ben. No, I don't look at charts at all, really. I'm not even trading this stock right now. But other people can trade on charts. I'm not saying I don't believe in it, or I'm just saying it's not really what I do, what I excel at. I mean, I like to look at the price direction when I'm looking at a stock. Listen, the famous investors, look, every person,
order partially
no matter how smart they are,
order filled,
they're subject to Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Every person. There's so many people subject to it. Everybody becomes a quick expert and stuff. And the reality is most people, they know a little bit about one thing. They think they know a lot about it, okay? But they don't know that much about it. Then, on things they don't know much about, they think they know a little bit, but they really know nothing. And this includes me, by the way. So I think you have to be really careful listening to other people. But one of my favorite ideas in just thinking, period, that I've ever sort of had, that I love. One of my favorite ideas that I've ever come across in thinking was I was reading a chess master's book on chess. And you know what? Actually, it was the foreword. It's the foreword to My System by 𝗂𝗂𝗂, the modern version of My System. Not the 1920 copy, but the 2020 copy. I don't remember when this was. So in any event, I'm reading 𝗂𝗂𝗂's foreword to My System. And it's a really funny thing because, you buy a chess book and you're hoping to read it and get really smart. So I'm reading the 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂's foreword to My System, which is sort of this classic chess book, but it's very old. And so 𝗂𝗂𝗂 writes in there that like when he was a kid, he read My System and he disagreed with most of it. So you sit there and say, well, why am I reading this chess book? It's useless. But he said that it got me thinking about chess. And I thought about chess in new ways that I hadn't before. And even though I didn't agree with everything in the book, I sort of started to think about chess in a new way and consider new styles and what he was saying and well, why do I think it's wrong? Can I prove that it's wrong, etc. And so the point is that, when you listen to some of these people talk, and that includes me, you have to sort of use their thoughts as sort of a muse for your own thinking. Never ever take anything on face value. Now you might listen to their thoughts and say, that makes sense to me. I agree with that. Or you might say, he's not considering this, or I think he's a little too emotional about this, or whatever the case is. You have to decide why, you think it's right and why you think it's wrong. But there are no manuals in life. There's probably a couple of situations that's close to a manual, but in your big open-ended games where there's a lot of imperfect information and you need a strategy, chess, markets, pickup artist, you need to be fairly fluid and malleable. I mean, I think I'm fluid. I'm open-minded. I don't think I'm dogmatic, but I do have a system. So I'm not so fluid that I'm going to buy fart coin if I think it's going up. I think you have to have a system and you have to have conviction, but I'm fluid within that system. You want to be amused at somebody else's expense? It's a waste everyone's time. I try to read the chat and respond to everybody, but if you're just going to sit there and troll, I'm just close the chat and it'll be a much worse stream. Yeah, it's always passive aggressive, man. No, Matan, stop asking me. You're sitting there. You only want to talk about chess. I don't want to play chess right now. Yasser, it's called My System by 𝗫𝗫𝗧𝗏. It's probably one of the most famous. Some people would say even the most famous chess book ever written. That doesn't deserve that title, but I added to a lot of my quantum shorts, including QBTS. I don't have any options in QBTS, so I just added. I don't know anything about SEC filings. I don't run a software company that focuses on it or anything. Oh, look who it is, my favorite cat. He's so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty. I know. See, she was a rare instance of being a good kitty. She is typically a bad kitty. Now, dogs understand that. You say bad dog or bad or something like that, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Then you'll be calling me a bad kitty. Oh, yeah? What if I poop on something? I might just poop on something or pee on something real quick. Then what?
Order filled.
Still a bad kitty? Yeah. When I have some time, I'll buy some Dasha and moon it a little bit.
Order filled.
Too busy. What's going on here? Oh, I wasn't trying to date Dasha. I got a wonderful girl. I'd rather have my girlfriend than Dasha. Dasha's not exactly my type either, by the way. But she's cool. I admire her. I think she's very cool. Like I said, I like her style. I'm not a simp. There's chicks I simp for, though. Yeah, ADF's coming. Yeah. That's all coming. ADF, indications of interest, advertisements of block trades. We got all that. Ain't gonna be cheap. This is the other thing, keep in mind. There's a reason Bloomberg costs $2,500. I can cut the cost, so I can't cut them that much. I can also make it so that you can pay for some things and not for others. So like if you never trade Japanese stocks, I still got to pay the Japanese newsman, but I can disable that. So you don't have to pay me to pay the Japanese newsman for news you're never going to read. Bloomberg doesn't let you do that, so I just got a better business model. Why should you pay for Swiss news, for African bonds? Why should you pay for that? You don't use it. I think we're ending the permanent price protection. I just looked at our new, you're going to laugh at me at my expense. No, so you're going to laugh at this. So
order filled.
For the S&P index and S&P futures, Reuters news and earnings estimates, good earnings estimates, Bloomberg quality earnings estimates.
Order filled.
My price per user is going to increase around $15 per user per month. You know that they killed S&P real-time prices? We were on Yahoo Finance yesterday. S&P index. Okay, this is real-time. On TradingView, it's not real-time, I think. Yeah, the E-minis are one thing, and then the index price is another. I think we should eat the cost of the index price and just show it to everybody because it's so elemental. But there is a price per user for that. I'm wondering if Yahoo is paying like a blanket price. But anyway, point is, I mean, S&P is a small part of it, but yeah, I have $15 in my costs. That's my costs, $15. Most companies would do $100 price increase. I mean, I need my margins, dog. Oh yeah, we're getting, that is true. We're getting 60 new stock markets. That should be any day now. I've thought about doing transactions, brokerage. It's, possible. I don't need that high margins, but, I'm going to try to figure out what I can pass through and what I can't, and what's kind of so fundamental that it really should be a part of our platform regardless. I'm thinking all that stuff through. I don't think there's a Papua New Guinea stock market. We're about 12, 13 people. Oh, look at VKTX. A lot of users, HTC Mini. That's between me and my investors, though. But yeah, we'll have VIX. I think we're going to have 20,000 plus indexes soon, indices. So that's exciting. OSC, yeah. That's one of the... you're talking about Osaka? We're going to have Japan, but I don't think we're going to have Osaka. I think we're going to have either top of book NBBO for Japan or Tokyo. You want Osaka? Oh yeah, ASX is critical. MBA is great. You get to study business. I mean, you get to study it and stand on it. I got my MBA from Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, we got Oslo coming. Any major market you can think of, basically.
Order filled.
Yeah, I've talked at a lot of
partially filled
business schools undergrad.
Order filled.
Like I go and it's like some distinguished professor of finance. He's like, we have Martin Shkreli here to discuss investing. I'm like, what up? I got my Sprewell jersey on, fitted cap. Yeah, thanks, professor. Look, I'm him. I'm Himothy. You call me Himothy. Fartcoin's ticked back down, as has Trump. The Bybit hack doesn't help. And even Nvidia's down. Palantir's down. Yeah. Doesn't mean that they're going to, you can divine anything from that. It's not really a causal thing. But yeah, I have to deal with expiry. It's a lot of merchandise I'm trafficking at the moment. Getting ready for next week.
Order partially filled.
Are there any days off next week? Man, Levi and Korsinski is like doing bigger companies nowadays. They're not going after the smaller ones. They're shaking down the biggest companies they can find. Best that ever did it. Levi and Korsinski suing every company on every downtick. IonQ borrow isn't that great. It's only 99,000 shares on active. That ain't much. I might need that. I might need all that. Microsoft would rather build it themselves. I mean, if there was something really competitive, Microsoft would jump in. I mean, they were barely solvent. They could have bought them 6 months ago for nothing. Their own customers don't believe in them. Again, it's not easy. I mean, look, I'm not dissing the companies because the company's doing their best. It's not easy. I've been there before. I got respect for that. It's just the market, the participants don't understand what exactly it is that they're buying. Equities always go up, huh? Yeah, especially after 2 25% years. They keep going up. You're going to make 25% every year. Don't worry about it. Buy some quantum computing. Buy some meme coins. Fartcoin, really good stuff. It's hard to say about the Majorana announcement. I mean, I think it's net kind of bearish for the smaller companies. Microsoft is a serious player. I don't think you can, even though there's skepticism about the chip, I don't think you can you really doubt Microsoft that much? I mean, so if they're right, all these other companies are toast. If they're wrong, well, it still sort of illustrates how hard it is to get this stuff right and how difficult it is to scale. I mean, they got 99.5% gate fidelity. They need to get that to 99.10 nines, and they got 1 9. And each 9 is an order of magnitude, right? It's a 10x in gate fidelity, 10 times more error-proof. I mean, honestly, doing a 10x improvement in engineering every year, it's not easy. They haven't been able to do that in this part, this early part. This is where the 10x's should come, right? Should come quickly. But they can't even get the 10x's now. How are they going to get them when the error rates are really low and they got to get them even lower? Now this should be simple. They put a lead plate over it, they get a 10x improvement. There should be easy ways to get 10x improvements. They're not even seeing those. Google Strat may break the logjam a little bit, but that's not going to get you 1,000x improvement. might get you a 10 or 20 or 50 or 100x, but they need a 1,000,000x improvement, literally a 1,000,000x, before you can even take it seriously. I was telling my girlfriend's parents that my streams used to be like Howard Stern. I used to have crazy people come on here, so you guys remember. Random girls, all kinds of wild people. We're very toned down these days, man. We don't need to live like that. I got more viewers now than before too. Even Shkreli Pill doesn't have some of the crazy stuff. We used to have this thing called Blab where anybody could just dial in, and there'd be all kinds of girls dialing in, pretty chicks. They'd be like, "Hey, can I come over?" I was like, "Okay." And my dad would call me. My dad would be like, "Don't, Martin. They're gonna rob you or something. We all have to grow up someday." Periscope was fun too. Yeah. I don't think I'd start with IVD. Don't short a dollar stock. I mean, I would short something that you're really confident in, or you're really confident is just a fundamentally bad company that is flawed. Not just the valuation's high. That's not really a great place to start. You can do that, but those are trickier. I would find a company that is just fundamentally flawed and broken, and I would make it 1% of your portfolio. Don't try to be a hero. 1%. And that allowed alpha. I mean, if you have longs, in a day like this, you're adding a little alpha to your portfolio. You're hurting a little bit less than the other guy. Now, the flip side is when the market's up a lot, you're not going to make as much. Even though that company is a trash company, its stock's going to go up. And you're going to have to wait. But eventually the market will realize what you know, and then, you can cover it and you make some bread. Oh, old Neuron. I remember that company. I know every biotech company. I mean, I was too close to that industry, man. Rigetti's down $1. It's only got $10 left. I'm loving it. When cassava came out, I don't even know how I reacted. I assumed I reacted like the "you are not the father" guy. No, the Dua Lipa, man, she was too she dressed too provocatively. I've talked to you about this. She's always kind of half nude. That's kind of her job as a pop star. I get it. But as a good Albanian woman, I don't know. It's not very traditional Albanian. Yeah, Dua Lipa's Muslim, but also liberal, because she's in Hollywood now. I don't do Forex because it's mostly gambling, in my opinion, but I will do it and show you guys some tools and some stuff on Godel as we ramp up our capabilities there. So basically every kind of trading I'm going to do just to show you how to do it on Godel, because Godel is my main focus. Listen, FX, you can make money. I will show you how to do it the intelligent way. You can also gamble. And a lot of people just say, give me the gamble. Gamble. Forex isn't that important for your portfolio. I mean, you can hedge out most Forex risk. Yeah, we can do advanced option strategies, Oscar, for sure. I was talking with the options expert last night.
Order partially filled.
A big investment bank.
Order filled.
And we're talking about how do we get market making tools into the hands of millions of people? How do we get delta hedging tools into the hands of millions of people? So I can give you programs that just print you money, assuming, it's not going to always print you money, assuming that you think the stock is going to stay in a relatively narrow band, okay? Now, you probably know how to do that manually, but I can do it in a way that, you just click a button, it does it for you, and you can pick 10 stocks for it to do that with.
Order partially filled.
So I'm looking forward to sort of showing you some of that stuff. Less so structured products and more so just algorithmic market making. There's a little bit of algos out there on some of these broker tools that are like, okay, we'll TWAP it for you or VWAP it for you. That's not really market making. Yeah, it's always going to depend on the market conditions for sure. But if you are fairly sure that the market for that stock is going to be pretty flat throughout the day, there's a lot of things you can do to extract money. Not too different from what a market maker does. It's fairly simple. And then for option strategies, you can do the same thing with delta hedging. Yeah, it's less so based on technical analysis and just more what you're trying to do when you market make is you're trying to take advantage of the bid-ask spread. Okay, you're trying to arbitrage, So on IonQ, the bid-ask spread is super wide. Right now it's 3172 by 3175. So literally if the market, if they hit you at the same time, you make 3 cents for free, right? So, and if you do that all day, every second, but it's obviously harder than it looks, harder than it sounds. And a computer can help you quite a lot. It is a lot harder than it looks. Most people who try it get addicted and lose it. So sorry. I hope you didn't put in a ton of money or something. Yeah, I mean, the bounces on these stocks require you to just find a stop loss you're comfortable with. And stop loss, generally, whatever you think you're comfortable with, you got to double it. Yeah, it's probably a good time to stop then before it really hurts you. No, the bid and the ask are always going to be, there's never going to be like a locked market or upside down market. It's more that you hope that somebody buys from you here and sells from you. Someone buys from you here at the ask, right? And sells to you here at the bid at the same time. And so the problem is, let's say the stock drops a bunch, because if they do, that's 3 free cents, right? But let's say a couple seconds go by. This is what happened in real life, actually. And you're looking at 3178, which is right now 3174. And let's say they hit you. Let's say they hit you here, for 100 shares. Let's argue. Well, now you are short 100 shares. And the mid price, which there doesn't even have to be a trade, you're already down a penny, right? Because you're short at 31.75. So now you repeat the trade. You're willing to sell 100 shares here and buy 100 shares here. Let's say they hit you here. Well, your blotter will say your average on the sell side is here, and your average on the buy side is here. And slowly but surely, it's probably the probability of your buys and sells being roughly the same is very high. Because it's sort of random whether you get hit here first or get hit here first. It's somewhat random. But the key is that you're the best bid or best offer typically. So over time, ideally you should be able to extract the spread. But it's harder than it sounds. If you have a directional opinion, you can really do well. So I'll give you a software that, let's say, look, I don't like IonQ. I'm short. I think it's a short. So that when I am market making, I'm willing to sell more than I am willing to buy. And that would help the market making tool, really be willing to sort of press it more on the short side.